ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. Hare Krishna everyone, welcome back. Let us discuss 26th shloka, chapter 4, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. श्रोत्रादीनिन्द्रियाण्यन्ये संयमाग्निषु जुह्वति शब्दादीन् विषयानन्या इन्द्रियाग्निषु जुह्वति. Some of them sacrifice the hearing process and the senses in the fire of the controlled mind, and others sacrifice the objects of the senses such as sound in the fire of sacrifice. So in explaining this shloka, I am not only referring to the purport given by Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita as it is, but I am also taking some insights from Sri Baladeva Vidyabhushana's commentary. He is a bona fide Acharya coming in our Guru Parampara, and we can always seek help from Acharya's purports. So the first two lines in this shloka, Krishna is talking about a celibate monk. For him, what is the sacrifice? For a brahmachari, what is the sacrifice? Then lines 3 and 4, Krishna talks about for a householder, for a grihastha, what is the sacrifice? So for a brahmachari, shrotra dinindriyanyanye, shrotra, his ear, is very, very crucial. If you remember, just about 2-3 episodes before, I explained to you how our mouth is the yajna kunda and the tongue is the ladle, and the ghee that we pour, the offering that we make, is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Remember? So likewise here we can say that the ear for a brahmachari is his yajna kunda. And what is the yajna? What is the offering that he makes into the yajna kunda? Constant hearing from the spiritual master. Constantly. Krishna Katha, Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, spiritual master's instructions. And by constantly hearing, what he should do? Control his mind. Also for the brahmacharis, they should never come in touch. The senses should not come in touch with the sense objects. There is a lot of refrain in terms of especially wealth and women. In the case of wealth, that is why even in the temple ashram, in ISKCON ashrams, if you see the brahmacharis, they don't have a bank account. They don't even buy a toothpaste on their own. They don't buy their toiletries, their clothes that they wear. Everything is provided. So they don't have to directly deal with Lakshmi. And women, very, very strict, abstaining from coming in contact with the women any which way, speaking to them, looking at them, associating with them. In fact, in the Vedic times, a brahmachari was not supposed to see a woman above her feet. In fact, that was exemplified by our Lakshmana. In Srimad Ramayana, when Lord Rama is showing all these ornaments of Mother Sita to Lakshmana and saying, do you recognize these? And he is saying, except for her touring, I don't recognize any other ornaments. Why? He has only seen her feet and nothing above the feet. That too only when he was paying obeisances to her, because she was like a mother for her, for him. This is the etiquette of a brahmachari. That is why we call everyone Mataji. Even a small girl, even an 80-year-old woman is a woman. A brahmachari should never associate. It's like butter and fire coming together. It's only a matter of time before the butter is going to melt. So very, very strict abstinence for the brahmachari. So for him, for that very strong and constant, consistent hearing should happen very powerfully. Now coming to the next, that is the householder. What is the sacrifice for the householder? For him, it is even more difficult. For brahmachari, there is no coming in touch with wealth and women, but for grihasthas, he is in touch with both in a restrained way. But he should not use it for sense gratification. So at one level, for a celibate monk, it's easier because he doesn't even have access to these things, so it's easier to control. But for a grihastha, although he is, with a wife and children and all kinds of material affairs going on, and he has to deal with money because it is the grihastha who has to provide for the brahmacharis, vanaprasthis and sannyasis. But still he has to be very self-restrained, not to increase his sense gratification, but to use his wealth in the service of the Lord and his devotees. That will take a lot more self-restraint. So for the grihastha, that is his regulation, that is his sacrifice. How to nicely do this yukta vairagya. Engage what he possesses in the service of the Supreme Lord and his devotees. So very beautiful shloka. I will not go too much deep into it, but I think you get the gist of what is being covered here. So let's come back in the next episode and we will dive into the 27th shloka, what Krishna is sharing there. Until then, you please contemplate on all these things. Take care. Hare Krishna.